Noel paid Hugo a visit in prison. Hugo's reaction was immediate hostility upon seeing him. Noel countered, stating Hugo was too fragile and he wouldn't allow him to perish. He needed him. Understanding dawned on Hugo. Noel intended to break him out and enlist him. Here, the audience discovers Hugo's true profession, a puppet master. This individual was currently on death row for a series of killings that had terrorized Etri. Once a celebrated explorer renowned for his ingenuity, Hugo possessed a rare combination of battle prowess and crafting expertise. His control over adaptable puppets, suitable for every conceivable combat situation, was legendary. With a cool head, keen mind, and a logical approach, Hugo had amassed countless victories as a freelance explorer. His solitary nature, however, prevented him from ever joining a group, and he abruptly retired at the height of his career to focus on puppet construction, achieving remarkable success. Then, a catastrophic event altered the course of his life. Returning to the present, Noel assured Hugo he would not forsake him. A prison guard summoned Noel, instructing him to relay any requests. Hugo deduced that Noel was coercing the guard into obedience. Despite this, Hugo declared he would never align with Noel. He held explorers in contempt, viewing them as aggressive and overconfident. As Noel departed, he vowed that Hugo would join him, one way or another. Later, Noel assembled his companions to dine at the tavern frequented by the city's elite B-rank explorers. There, they were confronted by Edgar, who challenged them to a brawl. Noel ridiculed him for approaching them solo. Unfazed, they disregarded him and entered the tavern. Mid-meal, Ophelia approached Alma. Using telepathic communication, Noel inquired if Alma was acquainted with Ophelia. Alma replied that Ligia knew her from a previous encounter, but cautioned Noel to be wary, as the fairy held a low opinion of him. Ophelia initiated a conversation with Alma, inquiring about her companions. Noel introduced himself. Ophelia recoiled at the sound of his name, recognizing him as the one who had double-crossed his comrades. Noel boasted about receiving a substantial payment from the mafia for his betrayal, dismissing the notion of friendship as having any value. Ophelia's fury erupted, and she lashed out, only to be intercepted by Koga, who pleaded with her to refrain from violence, as Noel was their leader. Ophelia scoffed, labeling Koga a devoted hound, content to be sold off by his master. Irked, Koga warned her not to provoke him into drawing his blade. Just then, her companion, Leon, arrived to check on her. Noel claimed Ophelia had lunged at him without provocation. Leon apologized for her outburst, which Noel accepted, but he insisted that Leon educate her on proper conduct to prevent future incidents. Domesticated canines can be trained not to bite, Noel quipped, adding that she was less intelligent than a stray. Leon's temper flared, demanding Noel retract his insulting words. While acknowledging her initial wrong action, he argued it didn't warrant such derogatory language. Sensing a potential escalation, Ophelia restrained Leon, advising him against reasoning with Noel, a man notorious for his ruthlessness. Leon was taken aback by her declaration. He then told Noel that he was intolerable. Someone incapable of valuing companionship was unfit to be an explorer. He warned that Noel's habit of insulting others would ultimately come back to haunt him. Noel's continued taunts only fueled Leon's anger, who perceived Noel as believing himself to be the sole righteous individual. Exasperated, Leon stormed off. In Leon's absence, Alma admonished Noel for his excessive provocation, particularly after Leon's apology. Noel revealed it was all a calculated strategy. He then beckoned his companions closer to share a confidential piece of information. They were astounded by his shrewdness upon hearing it. He instructed them to remember his words, "Among explorers, it's survival of the fittest. But it's not the feeble who are consumed. It's invariably the prideful. To turn your back on an adversary is the ultimate folly." The scene transitioned to Leon and his friends. Leon declared that these individuals were mere obstacles in their path. The narrative then shifted to an older gentleman and his granddaughter, Marion. Marion questioned her grandfather about the most suitable candidate to command their forces against the Valiant. Her grandfather firmly reminded her to maintain decorum, as they were currently engaged in official business, and he held the authority within their family. Marion proposed Leo as the optimal choice. She clarified that her suggestion wasn't solely due to her managing his affairs, acknowledging that despite Leo's arrogance and indolence, he possessed immense strength, potentially surpassing all others. Her grandfather inquired about her opinion of the Supreme Dragon. While acknowledging Zeke's power, she affirmed her support for Leo. Her grandfather countered, suggesting Noel as his preferred candidate. Marion scoffed, reminding him that he had previously denied Noel's clan's application for membership. Her grandfather retorted that whether it was Leo or Noel, one of them would inevitably ascend to the position of Supreme Commander. He proposed a wager. Should I be mistaken, I will relinquish my role as head of the Jenkins family, and you shall assume the position. However, should your judgment prove faulty, you will enroll in etiquette classes. Marion readily accepted, stating that should she aspire to become the Supreme Inspector, she would require both intellect and refined manners. She added, if you fear defeat, do not disappoint me now. The scene cut to Kame observing a group of individuals engaged in laughter and play. The sight evoked memories of his childhood, where he had defended his friend, Leon, from a pair of tormentors. Upon seeing Kame, the bullies fled. Kame turned to Leon, inquiring if they had been harassing him again. He urged Leon to retaliate and not succumb to fear. Leon protested his inability to do so. Kame reminded him of his combat aptitude, asserting he could easily handle such insignificant foes. Leon explained that it wasn't a matter of right or wrong, but a necessity for them to become explorers. He didn't want to squander his life in rural obscurity. He yearned to experience a far grander world. He expressed his conviction that they could become the most formidable explorers in existence. When Kame pressed him further, Leon confessed, I'm not as capable as you, adding, you possess undeniable strength. You're a swordsman, and I wield a spear. We are distinct from the others. We possess the necessary qualities. We will become explorers, achieve greatness, and consistently uphold justice. We will eradicate monsters and safeguard everyone. As they matured, they fought countless battles together. During one such encounter, Kame instructed Leon to utilize his magic to eliminate the monsters. Leon hesitated, expressing concern about his accuracy from such a distance and the possibility of striking Kame. Kame assured him, I will evade at the precise moment of release. There is no alternative path to victory. Trusting Kame, Leon consented. They coordinated their attacks, and with the combined magical prowess of the group, they finally vanquished the monsters. The wolf remarked, observe how far we have progressed. Leon approached Kame to check on his well-being. He added, you should have witnessed your own expression. It will enhance the credibility of Twilight's Glimmer. Twilight's Glimmer was the provisional name the four of them had chosen for their party, though it was never formally adopted. Eventually, Leon's title evolved into Celestial Wings, and until they became the Wing Knights, it was Leon who championed their vision, and perhaps he was destined to become one of them. Back in the present, Leon mused, I wonder why I became so agitated? Kame responded, who can say? Perhaps it was envy. Leon looked at him, surprised. Kame elaborated, a newly minted explorer arrives at the Rockbird's peak, acting self-important. Consider how many years it took us to reach this point. It would be unnatural not to feel a twinge of envy towards such individuals. That might also explain Ophelia's lack of composure. Leon conceded, I cannot believe I was oblivious to my own emotions. I disapprove of his methods, but his dedication warrants respect. Kame agreed, adding, I understand. Directly pursuing your objectives has its appeal, but I believe we shouldn't remain passive and allow them to surpass us. The Explorers Guild recently issued a notice, urging parties with strong track records to promptly establish clans. Daphilia and Vaslov received similar communications. Leon revealed, I received one as well, and summoned you all to the tavern today for that very reason. Kame replied, I intended to discuss it. Both of them have already pledged to support your decision. I feel the same. Leon smiled, saying, you deliberated on this without your leader? That simplifies matters. I'm aware that my leadership is nominal. Kame reassured him, don't sulk. Your leadership holds significant meaning for us. The scene shifted to Kame and Leon in a stately hall with an elderly gentleman. Kame addressed him, stating, all of our documentation should be in order. We fulfill all the prerequisites for clan formation. The elder responded, under normal circumstances, I perceive no obstacle. The guild would readily welcome you. Kame insisted, we require immediate resources. We have successfully vanquished Ayatar previously. As dragon slayers, we possess a certain renown. The elder countered, you did not apply at that time. Your excessive prudence is your greatest weakness. You lack ambition and the impetus to constantly strive for greater heights. Frustrated, Kame inquired, then why did you send us that letter? The elder replied, I do not believe we issued any such correspondence. Perhaps it was a jest. Astonished, Kame asked, who would perpetrate such a deception? The elder abruptly concluded the meeting, stating, this discussion is over. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. Leon pleaded, please reconsider. The elder relented slightly, I will grant you a second opportunity, but only if you successfully complete a trial. You must eliminate a monster designated by the guild. Should you succeed, I will approve your clan application. The monster is Dantalion, the cursed-eyed, classified as Abyss Depth. It is more formidable than the Ayatar you defeated. Came addressed Leon, do not waver. We are explorers. We will inevitably confront it, so let us face it now. They agreed to the Elder's terms. The Elder added, you will be competing against another party in this trial. I rejected their clan application a few days ago as well. They implored us for another opportunity, so we determined that whichever party triumphs in this trial will be granted clan status. At that moment, Noel entered the chamber, declaring, at last, we meet. What a fortuitous turn of events, Winged Knights.